British officials are warning the public that COVID-19 infection and fatality rates are headed in the, quote, wrong direction. More than 40,000 people in Britain have died within 28 days of testing positive for COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic in March, the highest number across Europe. CBS News correspondent Roxana Saberi is in London with the very latest.
The government's top medical advisor said today COVID-19 infection rates here in the UK have turned a corner in a very bad sense. He said if nothing is done, new infections could rise from just under 4,000 cases a day now to nearly 50,000 a day by mid-October. Authorities imposed tighter restrictions on communities in northeastern England last week. People there can no longer socialize with other households. And across England, most gatherings are now limited to 6 people. The health secretary has not ruled out a second national lockdown. The virus has killed more people in the UK than in any other country in Europe. In France, the head of a medical workers union is warning that hospitals have reached a tipping point. He said though the current rise in infections is not as high as the country's first wave in March, some hospitals are seeing a big increase in patients. Face masks are now mandatory in enclosed public spaces, but the government wants to avoid a new national lockdown. Spain is also struggling with a second wave of the virus. In certain areas of Madrid, new restrictions begin today. Around 860,000 people will not be able to leave their neighborhoods except for work, study, or medical reasons. Last week, Israel became the first country in the world to impose a second nationwide lockdown. The country's first lockdown was eased in May as new cases dropped to single digits, but new cases have spiked in the past month. Back here in England, Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to address the nation tomorrow. We may hear about new restrictions then.